The day had finally come, much to the engine's disappointment. As the leaves started to fall off the trees, the engines counted down the days until the Fat Controller's departure. The ceremony was to be a small one at the sheds, taking place on a crisp October morning. Not every engine could attend, but almost every mainline engine and some of the branch line engines showed up. James refused outright to come to the ceremony. He joined Sir Aled in handling the morning mainline trains. A small wooden platform had been built nearby to where the engines rested. They stood with the railway board, some important guests, and quite a lot of railway staff.
It is a shame he has to go. This man has done so much for our railway.
Yes, he saved it from the brink of collapse.
He saved me too, added Toby.
Yes, he was so much more caring and kind than his father was.
His father?
Yes, his father was the first Fat Controller. He ran this railway until 1923, when Topham here stepped in. A brilliant man, yes, but not one with much feeling. Yes, Topham was always trying to win his praise.
Topham was the best controller I've ever known. Really? I thought you'd have some disdain for him. He did lock you up in a shed for 15 years. Yes, well, that was to save the railway. He would have taken us out sooner, but the railway board wouldn't let him. Too afraid of bringing out antiquated engines instead of new ones, if you ask me. Regardless, he's had his share of charismatic moments, like giving me an overhaul last year. Any other controller would have seen me and my age and scratched me on the spot. Me too. I know if it was his father, he would have scrapped me. His father never did like me very much. The Fat Controller gave me my own special train. It's the best part of my day now.
He brought me here and has put up with my antics for 3 whole decades.
He's put up with all of our antics for 3 whole decades. We really do owe him some peace from all of our stunts. Remember the time I covered him in jam?
Or the time James damaged his top hat?
Or the time you ran into a ditch to get out of pulling a goods train? Or the time all 3 of you went on strike?
He handled that situation brilliantly. Speak of the devil, here's the man of the hour. Glenn came in looking very smart. The Fat Controller's private coach, Helena, stood gleaming behind him. The Fat Controller's wife stepped out first, followed by their grandchildren, and finally, the big man himself, Sir Topham Hatt, stepped onto the platform. The audience clapped delightfully for the family. One of the railway board's men started speaking.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are gathered here to honor Sir Topham Hatt, controller of the Northwestern Railway, as well as the ceremony of the passing of the torch from one generation to another. As from this day moving forward, our railway will be under the control of a new Fat Controller. Today, when the clock strikes noon, Charles Topham Hatt will become controller of this great railway, and it will be his light that guides our railway into a new age. There was an applause. Now, Topham, would you care to say a few departing words?
Yes, specifically directed towards my engines. It has been a great pleasure leading you over these past 30 years. I have enjoyed watching each one of you grow and mature, from leading strikes to taking charge in a time of war. You have all come quite a way over these years. While I might not be your controller anymore, I won't be entirely disappearing. I will of course come down and visit you all. Me and Glenn here will be a common sight as I take up a new hobby in photography. Charles, I cannot wait to see how you will handle being at the head of my engines. I think it's about time that you've had your moment to speak.
Thank you, Father. I appreciate the foundation you have laid for me, and I look forward to being able to build off of it. British Railways has unveiled their process to modernize their railway network by getting rid of their steam engines. And while I do think getting rid of such workhorses is a bit too far, I think this railway and this company needs a new look into a new age. New services and new projects will make the railway compete with the council's recently finished expansion projects. An increased focus on standardization of the railway's practices will be observed following the recent blackout, and of course, I can't do any of this without the engines and the staff of this wonderful railway. It is their tireless devotion that ensues smooth operating year round.
The engines were pleased at the praise, but were worried by some of the things Charles said. Gordon whisked the party away to the big station for the celebrations. Thomas and Toby departed to look after their branch line, and Henry was called away to take a fast goods. The handful of engines that were left quickly consulted each other once the hubbub had settled down.
I'm confused.
We all are, Percy. So, are we getting replaced? No, he clearly said that was too far. Then what's happening, Edward? I'm sure the new Fat Controller just wants to modernize the railway's image. I'm sure we'll have nothing to worry about. It sounds like we will be a bit more busy over the following months, though. Edward was right, of course. Charles's plans involving modernization quickly took shape. New posters advertised the railway all over England, while a new timetable streamlined passenger and goods clients' overall service. Things like lamp codes and signals had become much more serious under the new regime. While these changes mostly went over smoothly, it wasn't without hiccups. But that's another story.